The Dershow.
Jeffrey Epstein, O.J. Simpson. History is going to look at these guys as villains.
They were.
And there you are.
Yeah.
Defending them.
Yeah.
Allied with them.
Yeah.
How does that sit with you?
Very well. I mean, it sits with me the same way it would have sat with John Adams when he was criticized for defending the people who were accused of committing the Boston Massacre. Look, Klaus von Bülow was not a very good husband. O.J. Simpson was not a very good husband, and Jeffrey Epstein did some terrible, terrible things. But the job of the criminal defense lawyer is to defend the guilty and the innocent. Look, the vast majority of people charged with crime in America are guilty, and thank God for that. Would we want to live in a country where the majority of people charged with crime were not guilty?
Now that he's dead, will you say that O.J. is guilty?
Well, I would say that there was sufficient evidence to convict O.J. Simpson, but the evidence was obtained improperly.
Okay.
And
I'm asking you, do you have any devil or angel on your shoulder about this, Alan, when you look at yourself in the mirror? Like, a lot of people believe that O.J. did it.
Well,
do you?
I'm not going to say about any particular client. I would say there was
You
enough...
won't say? Even with him being dead and gone?
Yeah. There's enough evidence to have convicted him. There was certainly enough evidence to have convicted O.J. Simpson. I don't think there was enough, Jeffrey Epstein, I don't think there was enough evidence necessarily to convict Klaus von Bülow. Every case is different, but when I take a case, I don't ask myself the first question, is he guilty or innocent? The first question I ask is, were his constitutional rights violated? Are there important legal issues involved in this case? And I represent the guilty along with the innocent, just like emergency room doctors represent and take care of sick and contagious and terrible, terrible people. That's my job. Just like priests, they don't ask when somebody comes in and seeks religious counseling and salvation, they don't ask, are you guilty or innocent? In fact, the priest can't even disclose what he learned under any circumstances.
So there's no moral dilemma for you? None?
No, there's a moral dilemma personally. I don't like most of my clients. But it's very important for me to defend them and to defend them vigorously. When I was defending the Queen of Mean, Leona Helmsley, we were sitting and having breakfast one day, preparing for a case in court, and I got served, it was in a hotel, and I was served a cup of tea, and a little of the liquid was in the saucer. She saw it and she got furious, and she took the cup in the saucer and threw it against the marble floor, broke into a dozen pieces, and she said to this young busboy, now get on your hands and knees and beg me for my job. And I said, Leona, this is the last time I'm ever going to be with you in a private or public setting. I'll be with you in court, but I don't like you, I don't admire you, and I'm going to be your lawyer, but I'm never going to be your friend.
I'm smiling because those are the kind of stories that I love. Do you have a story like that with, how about Patty Hearst?
You know, I never really got to know Patty Hearst because she was a fugitive, and I consulted mostly with F. Lee Bailey, so she's not a case. Recently, I was at a dinner party, and a woman was sitting next to me, a really nice, charming woman. We were talking, and she said, well, what do you think of Patty Hearst? And I said, well, I've never met her, but I think she was properly pardoned. She said, I'm glad because I'm her sister.
Whoa!
And but I had never really got to know Patricia Hearst. But I had a woman who I saved her life, did her case pro bono, free. Never met her until years later because she couldn't afford to fly me out to Arizona where she was in prison. I argued the case, Nevada, she was Nevada, I'm sorry. I argued the cases, I won. She got free, never met her.
There are so many documentaries out right now about O.J. and the Menendez boys.
Sure.
Like, there seems to be like the 90s are back in, and the big high-profile cases of the 90s are back in. Why is that happening now, do you think?
Well, the 90s were a very interesting period of time. Most of my important cases, O.J. Simpson, Klaus von Bülow, Mike Tyson, Mike Milken, all in the 90s. For some strange
you miss them?
reason.
Do you miss the 90s?
I miss the 90s. I had my biggest bestseller, Chutzpah, #1 bestseller of the New York Times in the 90s.
For the person who doesn't know what that means, I know what that means. What does that mean?
Chutzpah?
Yeah.
It means a kind of an unwillingness to accept second-class status, a willingness to fight back, a little bit of arrogance, pushiness. It's a quality that if it goes too far, you're not going to like it. But if it doesn't go far enough, it's not good either. You have to have a balance of chutzpah. And so I hope I have the right balance. Probably too much. I probably have too much.
Ball buster?
Yeah, it's so interesting. There's the Yiddish phrase for a woman who is really a good housekeeper. The Yiddish term is bala buster. And everybody uses ball buster for that one. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of the cases that are making headlines right now, and let me pick your brain about them. Do you follow the Karen Reed case out of Massachusetts? Harvard guy, Massachusetts. Do you know about that one?
Not much. Not enough to really intelligently comment.
What about Diddy?
Diddy's going to be found guilty, and it's going to be reversed on appeal.
Okay.
There's no reason why that videotape, that horrible videotape of him kicking and beating this woman, should have been shown to the jury. He wasn't charged with that. He's charged with RICO violation and conducting a sex whatever. But when you watch that video, how do you acquit him? You want that guy to go to jail once you've seen that video.
What's your criteria for taking a case?
I have to be pissed off. I have to really be angry. It has to keep me up at night. I have to say I can't live with this. I just don't want to see this go down the way it is. Sometimes.
But it's interesting. Sorry to interrupt you. It's interesting to me that that's what you're saying. Notwithstanding if you think the person did it or didn't do it.
That's right.
It's about if something on the prosecution side or the burden of proof pisses you off,
it's
then you'll take
more
it.
about the government, because the government poses the greatest danger to our civil liberties, not individual criminals. So I'm always putting the government on trial in my head and in the courtroom and in my books. I always put the government on trial.